All right, everyone, welcome. Welcome to the Unstoppable Branding Experience Workshop. Guys, we are rolling into week two. We just completed our week two's work, and we are here to really address more deeply our story, get our story really nailed down, the details of our story, really start constructing it in a way that not only shares what you've got, where you've been, but where you're going and the solutions that you're solving for people. So we're going to cover that tonight to be sure you guys are on track. Because again, many of you guys have been writing and shooting video for your story. So I'm going to go through tonight a bit about how to organize that story, how to make it look visibly appealing, but then also how to start creating now a funneled call to action where it really leads people down the interest part of loving hearing about the details of your story and then naturally bringing them into taking action and clicking on one of your links to take them to either your blog or your lead capture pages. And you're going to continue to do this, guys, because as many of you know, telling stories is really what people follow. Everyone is being sold to all the time. We are different when we're branding ourselves. We're doing it in a different fashion to where we're really connecting with people in our core message. So tonight we're going to really dig into a lot of that, guys. We're going to make sure our stories are nailed down. And we've already been now through a week and a half of stories. So I'm going to hit the story and show you some things. And then I'm going to get now diving deeply into really more of how your tagline is going to be, what you're going to be really known for. Next week, we're going to start looking at visuals, and then we're going to start hitting into video series. So there's a lot to cover in a very short period of time. So tonight, we're going to make sure that we are really nailing down, right, what are your core customers, right? What is your story? Because when you know who your core customers are, guys, your story starts talking to them. Every one of your videos begin to talk to that person, okay? We only have 3 to 5 maybe core messages and core people that we communicate with that are our targets. And when we start to write our story in a way that connects to our targets, and then they visibly can see who you are, what you have to offer them in every video. Just because it's branded you, it not only has an opening of a brand, it closes with a brand of you, but it visibly is always you. And the message is congruent all the time to what you talk about, right? So that's what we're going to dig in tonight. We have a great full house tonight, which is super awesome. I love when we have a full house. And I'm going to dig in through some stuff now, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to bring some of you guys out that have some stuff that you want to share, because I know a lot of you, many of you, had some massive breakthroughs this last week, which I'm extremely excited about. So I want to talk with you guys about that so the rest of you can start hearing. See what happens again when people start to pop and things work. When they start to share what they've come up with, then you begin to get an idea, right? So we're going to do that tonight and really nail you guys, nail it down. So, all right, so today, this is awesome. Today, Hanale and I, after school, she went on a camel ride, right? Go figure that much. And so, again, just to always reiterate why I share some stuff the way I do is because even this picture is part of our core message, right? My daughter getting to experience the world, not in a textbook, right? This is part of my core message. So I share things that have to do with not just because I'm sharing because my kid's cute, because it also has a lot to do with my core message, right? The Unstoppable family does unstoppable things, and we connect with people that want their kids to have the same similar lifestyle or at least experiences, right? So this is part of everything I do is connected to everything that we're all about. I don't just throw up something really weird and goofy on my fan page. I connect and throw things on there that are connected to my core message, my brand, who I am, who we are, right? And you will get good at that, guys, and start realizing when you're doing everything on purpose, people start to notice. It's very different, right? It's not just, oh, look how cute we are today. And of course, I throw some funny things in, right? And I'm going to teach you guys the 3-to-1 ratio of being soft to one hard, whether it's a call to action or even a post. But it's also because it keeps you guys congruent all the time with what you're sharing with your audience. So, all right, so let's, I'm going to roll through some slides to start with. Okay, and then I'm going to roll on over to a few of your stories. Stephen Quick has got his story finished. I did some editing on it. And he's going to go back through and redo it and redo some stuff. Not all of it, Steve. He's going to go, oh no, Rhonda, don't do this to me. And same thing. I know Robert's unable to communicate here tonight, but I know Robert Jensen. He came up with a whole new brand from last week to today. It's outstanding. And so we're going to go through some of that. So let's talk about it today, right now. What is our story? Okay, so this last 2 weeks, guys, we've really been digging into who you are, right? Who's my story? What makes me unique? And when we're writing our story and we're shooting our video, we want it to have these components. Who I am, quickly, right? Remember, it starts with your decision point. It's not about everything from your past. It's about my decision point. What happened to me? So certainly a lot of you are going to have a bigger build up to your vision and what happened to you and what your solution is, because that makes your story. But we always want to remember, it's not about everything in our past. It's about what makes us connect with that customer, with that target audience. What makes them connect with us, want what we've got, because they automatically feel connected to you. Okay, so this is when we start really working attraction marketing and using our story as our really strong pillar to connecting with people. Okay, this is going to go the same when you're shooting videos as well. Every video you've got, you're going to bring it into really connecting to your audience, so they always know really what is your vision and what is your solution. Okay, and next week I'm going to do marketing versus messaging videos, and you guys are going to start a video series next week. I held off doing it this week because there's a lot that we need to cover, and a lot of you guys are not completely ready. So next week, I want you guys to be completely caught up with stories and really getting them visibly printed and shot. And then we're gonna start nailing down taglines and really what you guys are going to be known for and what your domain name is going to be. And then we'll start working on your videos. Okay. All right. So all of our stories have to have this component, right? What your vision is, right? And that's part of really who you are, right? What is the core message you have, right? So for us, we are the Unstoppable family, right? This is what we've gone through. Our vision is to never put my child in daycare, to travel the world, experience life, and not have to allow my daughter to learn it in a textbook, right? So what happened to us is I was broken down. I was sick of my corporate job. I had a breaking point. Boom, right? I find network marketing. And I start talking about all of these things together, and then I narrow it down to now what I did about it, what my solution was. When we start identifying what solutions we solve for ourselves, we can then see what solutions we're solving for our customers. And again, you're going to have 3 to 5 target customers. They're all going to have a solution or a problem that you're solving, and they're all going to have a solution, which is your solution. Right? So we want to start using our story to start with, to begin to connect ourselves, who we were, to start identifying who those people that would connect with us, right? Who our customer and our targets are. And so what we want to look at is, when we take a look at what our vision of our story is, it has to have inspired action. It has to give action, what you did, what was going on for you. Not just, this has happened to me, this has happened to me, this has happened to me. It is to the point, inspired action. You want people to go, wow, that's awesome. Whether it's nothing massive, you make it massive, right? We're telling a story. We're connecting with people. We have to always solve a problem and offer a solution. Think about that. Always are solving a problem. So when you start to think about who is my exact customer, we have to think about what problems they have that I'm solving. And you begin to identify this, your brand will start coming out, guys, as you begin to continue to shoot these videos. See, a lot of you guys are like, what's my brand? It's you, it's your core, right? And I was mentioning it to Steve last week. I'm like, the more videos you shoot, the more your core message will come out. The more you guys start doing videos and start talking about your story over and over and really sharpening it, you're going to start seeing a pattern of what your core message is. And then you're going to start going, so that's really the person I'm really always talking to. And that's also now what I can be known for. And then all of a sudden now a word comes out that connects exactly to who you are. And maybe it's your name, and maybe the tagline becomes to tell people really what you should be known for. We always want to make sure that every video, every story video, every story written, everything that we talk about always has a problem and offers a solution. You can't just leave them hanging, right? Like, wow, look how amazing this is, and you leave them completely hanging, right? You got to tell them what to do. People want to know what to do next. They want to know how you did it. So if you're solving their problem and you're addressing a problem they've got, you have to tell them where to go with it, okay? And how to take action. Using a call to action or using a funneled walkthrough in your story that says, this is what I did. If you want to find more out about it, click here, or take a look at my blueprint here. Or I shot a video to really describe what it is I found and how I've been able to overcome this problem. See the video here, right? So we always want to be working people through all the time doing something. All right, now before I break open, I want to have you guys interact. I want to really share this with you guys. And I wrote it out. I'm going to read it directly because it's really important for you guys to hear it. If you believe, as we do, that logic makes people think, but emotion makes them act, ask yourself these questions. When people consider your brand or your brands, right? Is it something that's special? What kind of emotions do you want to generate? Right? Is it take action emotion? Is it a cry? Is it a happiness? Is it like inspired? We have to always think when you are putting your stories and your videos together, what kind of emotion am I going to trigger here? A lot of times it's going to be about making people think because they have a problem that you are having. You had the exact same problem as they have. And when you talk it out or write it out, that problem. And tonight, if you haven't done it yet, you're gonna identify who your customer targets are and what their problems are. Because in your story, you have to share the problems they had. And if it's not in your story, then you have to put them in there. If you say, all right, this is my story, but it really is not addressing someone's problem, then you have to use that problem that one person might have and add it in your story as how you overcame that or how that wasn't even a problem. But you have to identify it so people can connect with you. And then you want to ask yourself, am I someone that they would want to work with or do business with or follow? If we think that the way we're communicating and the way we're sharing is boring, it's going to continue to be that way for everyone else. If we are like, wow, this is inspiring me. And it doesn't have to mean you've done something overly crazy and inspiring. It means that you took inspired action. And even if it's because you want to make more money, because you want to do something big for the world, or even just big for your family, that's okay. There are people that want the same thing. But you have to be direct as to what you are doing and where you are going and the problems that you solve for yourself. So what I'm going to do right now before I break into customers, I want to open it up for some of you guys and to share some of the breakthroughs, questions, comments, or maybe blocking points that you had with completing this segment. Now, I'm going to actually, I know, Stephen, you're here, and this is really good. So I want, yeah, cool. Stephen said, yeah, no problem. So Steve, why don't you make sure you're muted. I'm going to break on over here. And I'd like to ask you, Steve, I know in the beginning, you've been through the class a couple times and you were kind of blocked quite a bit. And I was getting your messages and you know how I am. I'm going to make sure that you just keep going for it. You just keep doing it. Right. So I'm not going to address, right. I'm going to let you get there. Right. And you did, you got there in a big way. And your video, I'm trying to hold on. Let me get to this. I need to get open to this page. Your second video was awesome. I wanted to ask how you felt about that one.
Um, well, I did feel that the second one was much better. I don't know why, but it just I do need to go back and watch it again myself. But we were on our way out the door
So you
to
you
go
think
to a
that
dinner, and
you think
I
it was
just decided
better.
to reshoot it.
Got it. Okay. It's just, let's just talk straight up. You felt that it was better, and I see that it was better. You look different. Your confidence was different. I'm going to offer you probably why. Do you have an idea?
Uh,
All right, I'm going to share it with you. Because you kept, now you're
to
thinking
be
about
honest, I'm really not.
it. Because you're thinking about it
What's
and
that?
you're doing it.
Okay.
Okay. The more we do it, the more we think about it, the more we keep filming it, it gets better, Steve.
Yeah,
Right?
that's very
Because now
true.
your message is going to continue to come out. Now, what I think would be really rock solid and really cool is, it's always a great start to do it right in front. Moving or having someone else holding the camera for you. How did you do this one? Because this one was different than the first one. Was it on your screen?
Uh, just the laptop was on my lap.
Okay. I would love to see someone holding the camera for you once you get comfortable
Okay.
enough. Are you comfortable enough to do it that way?
Yeah, I shouldn't have a problem.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you should either.
I mean, I could have my wife do it. I mean, she's been right by my side through the whole thing, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would even consider the two of you even doing it together if you wanted to, because of the way the dynamics. Okay. So you're going to continue to do this and you're going to get better at it. And this is something I want to share with everyone. Okay. So Steve wrote out, and this is a great example because Steve, I think you really nailed it, and you just have to get better at it, get it tighter. Okay. Steve wrote out a story, guys. I'm going to use this as an example because I started to do some editing for him so you can all see it. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how Steve wrote his at first. And Steve, there's no judgments, there's no criticism. I'm not going to criticize what you say. I'm going to make some adjustments, some edits for you.
No, let me know. Let me know what what I could have done better or whatever.
Absolutely.
I'm I'm really green at writing. I've
All right, no,
never
no
done a
worries.
whole lot of it,
Hey,
so that's
Steve,
one thing
listen,
I'm working on.
all of us have the exact same issue, so we don't even have to say it. Okay? There's no judgments. That's what we come here for, is to work together. So you're all good, my friend. Okay, so this is Steve wrote his, and he wrote it out, finally got it written out, and he really started to walk through. And I love how you created the headline, right? Because we always have to make sure we have something that is a powerful title and a headline. Okay? Awesome. From devastation to perseverance. Wow, people are like, wow, that's pretty inspiring, right? Steve's got a
Yeah,
very
that just came out like bam right when we first started. I think last week.
nice,
Uh, so
nice. And I think that this could be, and this is going to be up to you, could be part of your tagline and really part of you, what this brand's about, because yours is powerful. Steve, 5 years ago, was in an accident and was paralyzed. And if you guys didn't get to read his story, what happened, Steve, is we couldn't make comments. I don't know why. You were locked for comments. We only could share your story. And in the beginning, everyone's not really used to seeing each other's stuff on there. So this week, everyone's going to really make sure that you assist each other and really share. But anyway, Steve went through a massive car accident and he's been completely paralyzed and he's gone through a lot of different things. And he shares that story. That's a powerful story that you have to share because that is you. And it shows who you are, not only as a leader, as a person, and really stands up to what you're doing. And so you go through that, Steve, and there's some areas I won't point out here. I'm gonna give you some notes as to, I cut out some things when I did some editing that wasn't really completely important. Not that it wasn't important to your life, it wasn't completely important to your customer base, right? So what we want to do is we want to give our storyline and we want to show exactly, what happened to me and how I overcame it, that vulnerability piece and how I overcame it. Well, what you did here, Steve, on yours is you got through the details of how difficult it was for you, and then you started to create it paid off big time, and then you started to turn your financial situation around. I want to start knowing what this financial situation was and how you turned it around. Okay. Instead of going back to more drama, more problems, I want to see what the heck did he do? Because once you nail them with, I've had an accident and I'm paralyzed and I'm still doing this, we got to stop talking about the stuff that happened to us and start telling them how we got through it. Okay. And you did that. You started to move that way. There's some edits that I'm going to share with you. I'll send them to you privately in message because I want to make sure you keep there. Okay. And so what happens then at the end is you kind of leave them hanging. This is an awesome picture of you guys, by the way. Great picture to use. You leave them a little hanging because you just tell them that anyone can do it. Don't give up. Now, this is a great story that you can use on your blog, okay? And that it doesn't have to have calls to action. It can be just the story in your blog. But now when we use it to promote it on Facebook or we use it as a promotional piece, that you're going to be able to take chunks out of your core message, right? Which I would say, Steve, if you could pull out 2 or 3 topics that are your core message, what do you think they would be?
Oh gosh, on the spot. Um,
How about
I'm just trying to think of
perseverance?
it. Yeah,
Right?
that's what I was just about to spit out, but
Yeah.
you beat me.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything more?
oh my gosh, I'm just
All right. Well, this is what I want you to do. It's okay because I always put you on the
drawing a
spot.
blank.
If I put you on the spot, sometimes it's uncomfortable.
Um,
It is. I want you to think about it. What is coming out of my core message? Certainly, it's anyone can do this. Perseverance, right? And taking life on, right? There's some core things that are coming out of your story. Though what we need to do is we need to share with them. This is what I did. This is what I found. And the reason why I found it is because of this. And let me show you now how I started to edit. Now, I want everyone to see this. I want to kind of get this. I want you guys to look at the difference, okay? All of you guys that are here, I want you guys to look at the difference and see. This is not to judge you because everyone does it. I will tell you, everyone does it, and we have to correct it. Look at the difference in the way the story is kind of typed up, okay? This is kind of a lot of lines with no congruency, nothing really connected. I started to edit this and I changed it and brought it up to my notepad. Okay, just kind of all over the place. No, eyeballs aren't following anything. Now, this is one thing I want you all to hear and learn. People read 20% of what they're looking at. They only read 20%, you guys. That's it. So if we can create a visual effect that makes people not only understand our story, but really get the gist of it and read it to the very bottom by creating space and by directing them down the path visibly, right? Down our storyline visibly. So I re-edited Steve's and I added some things, and I'll send you this edit, Steve's. I added and changed some things. Is
all
we
right.
want to use white space, guys, so people really see what's happening. So what happens now, right? They're gonna now read Devastation of Perseverance. They're gonna go to the beginning. They'll start scamming through it. Never breathe on my own. Wait, that's huge. Maybe I should read this again. So I use the 1, 2, 3. I use usually it's a 3 to 1. So it's 3 paragraphs to one single line. Sometimes it can be 2, sometimes it can be 1. It just is how the story flows. But now they'll want to go back. So he's talking about not breathing again, right? And we start to go down through and read the story a bit, but I still had no use of my extremities. Wow. People that are reading this may not even go through this, may just want to scan through it. But if you see I have no use of my extremities, and you can even push this in bold letters, not full bold, but right, capitalized in the first. Because guys, we want to keep this stuff standing out. And maybe this one's a big one that's bolded, because you want people to visibly see what's going on in the story without even reading it. Right? So he talks about no use of extremities, and I cut out a lot of details that weren't absolutely important to the storyline for business, right? And so do you guys see the difference? Steve, do you see the difference in how I wrote it and how it was here?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys get that piece. That's a big, big piece to notice. And it's a very huge in details. It makes people either read or not read at all.
Now
And
I did try,
yeah,
I did try to follow that. I've noticed sometimes when some people will write, especially some of the more experienced writers, break their lines up a little bit, um, and that's basically what I was trying to do. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
okay, good. Because this, not really easy to follow. I'm not seeing anything. Not this is not judging. This is just flat out. This looks a lot more appealing to the eye because people follow
All right.
things right in a pattern that allows their eyes to flow. I typically will break my singles up even like this because everyone reads, guys. I think it's fifth grade level. I think that's pretty much on newspapers. It's a fifth grade level. We have to write in such small little paragraphs at a fifth grade level so that people actually want to follow it because they feel like they're understanding and reading what's happening. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, see here. And all right. So, um, see how this works? It's a 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. It makes a big difference. Okay. And if you guys keep this in your mind, it's huge. Most people don't even understand this or realize it. This is what allows people to continue to read your story, and you make a story out of these one-liners. Okay. And so I kind of passed it here. See how it starts to go into the way you wrote it? Totally changes the look and appeal. Now, what I want to see, Steve, is I want you to go back through this. And what happens, like I was saying before, is I want you to go from why I chose this business. What is it about it? People want to know, why did you do this? Okay. So you say things like this. The timing was perfect. I was already pondering on leaving the other company. And then a friend offered me a network marketing company, had real heart and passion for their members, not to treat them like a number. I added that. But people want to know what it is
Yeah.
about this company that's going to make it amazing. This is why when you start to share something, either content or why this company was so great. So I started to add this in. Let me share with you what I mean. 100% automated, which was perfect for you, right? Because of your situation. You've got doctor's appointments, you've got stuff to do. Leadership that cared, 100%
Yeah.
commissions. So I keep what I made. Start listing the important areas of this company that makes people go, wow, that's awesome. I want that. Right? And then you want to, let's see, down here you say, I wasn't tied up in the other company. Things are changing for me. Now, instead of going back to the bad stuff that's happened, you want to say, and this is, I chose this company for these, and these reasons. And then you close with, all because I didn't give up the things that were when they got tough, right? I believe in what I want. I got knocked to the ground, and I'm still going. If you want to find out and see how I was able to get up off the floor or get up from my devastation to perseverance, I want you to go here and see the blueprint I have to offer. See, that's the call to action that we're missing here. If this is on your blog, it's great. It's perfect. If you are using this to market it through Facebook or using it to really promote, you've got to tell them where they can find this information, because if not, it just turns into a great story. You follow me on that, Steve?
Yeah. And to be honest, the reason I didn't go into that detail on the company was because I was just writing the story,
Awesome.
um, the
Good.
personal story
Okay.
end of it. That's why I hadn't gone there,
That's great. And we are
just
writing
to
this.
clarify that.
No, it's all good. Listen, so now you've got to step forward because you want to use your story. Your story is your most marketable marketing tool. You got to be able to use it to sell something, right? We can tell our story all day long, but unless we use it to really inspire people to take action, then we're just telling great stories all the time and no one's taking action. And I know we came here to this workshop and this business to make money as well as inspire. So I'm going to talk to you in a way that is about you moving your business forward as well by using the story. So I will send these notes to you, Steve, so you can add to it. And so we can start then creating that promotable story. Are you good with that?
All right. Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely. And I
Oh,
need to figure out why people can't comment on my post. Something must be set to private.
yeah, exactly. That sometimes does happen. You're just on share mode for us, and I couldn't do anything for you. Though here on this one, is showing that I could. I'll go back to it, but I'll make sure that I send you a private message as well. I
Okay, so that's the written story.
okay.
Yeah, it was the video
The
for some
video
reason.
I couldn't connect with. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. Awesome. So, are
Hmm.
you guys? I'm going to bring this out to all of you for a question because Jeremy, really great. Jeremy's making some really great comments about you when he started using this format. It really started to change the way he wrote, and it helps people. It makes a difference in the way they read and the way they start connecting with you. And it's really about creating that visual effect. And a lot of times your content between the lines, guys, is not always that big of a deal. I'm the worst. I have horrible grammar. I really am not. I skip words. I capitalize the second word, the second letter. Half the time people don't catch it. The ones that do are just want to nitpick. But it's because not everyone reads your stuff, really, right? And so what we want to do, guys, we always want to look at what is our moment of clarity, why we made a big decision. And that is really, when you think about it, when we're talking about our story and then we are identifying now what made you choose in, this is when you start to think about your customer as well. What is going to make them, what problem did I have that I can solve for them? And you include all those problems into your storyline. Okay, and we're going to talk about customers in a minute. But anyone, I want to open this up right now for anyone that has any comments or questions about this to make sure you guys are getting how our storylines goes here, what I did about it, right? And we have to add this call to action in the end, or they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything, right? Inviting them over to a blog, to a website. Anyone have any breakthroughs and comments that they've got with working through their story this last week as well? Because there was only a couple of you guys that posted them up and that I got to go through. Okay, cool. All right, excellent. Um,
Yeah, I don't know about a breakthrough, but certainly, having written it and then going back and doing it in video a couple of times, you know, certainly gets tighter. And as you're just talking about, you do it more and more, and the story becomes clearer and clearer, and some of the peripheral stuff just goes away.
yeah, hey Jeff, that's right. This absolutely, and yours specifically too, Jeff. I've been seeing yours because you put on the team site. And not everyone got to see it within the group as well here, but you've done an incredible job. And what the last comment I think I made for you is that now let's do it without using your company name in there at all, because we want it to stay so vanilla that it can be used anywhere and all the time.
Okay.
Yep. And so what we do is you want to go through what made me make a decision to make a change. And you do a great job with really sharing what your vision is. And I tell you, Jeff, your Caribbean executive lifestyle. What is it again? Caribbean. Say it again.
Caribbean Beach, Caribbean Beach exec.
Caribbean beach exec. It's, I mean, you've already really got it nailed down as to what it is. And can you, right now, Jeff, if you were to say, who are my three ideal customers and the problems that you're solving for them, can you name them yet?
Oh, sure.
Of course, right?
Sure. Yeah, that was one of the things Ron and I did actually up front. Again, for me, this isn't something really new. As I tell them the story, I've been thinking about this for 20 years.
Right.
So now it's simply a matter of refining and getting it into this niche rather than into a cocktail conversation. But
Absolutely.
but when I think about who the customer is, the customer is somebody probably between the ages of 35 or 40 and probably 65. It's probably, according to my notes, probably 70% men, 30% women.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that probably already subscribe to what's International Living Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they're
Nice.
they may know about or have gone to Freedom Fest.
Yep.
You know, they're probably on LinkedIn. I would guess probably, although probably only half of them are on Facebook, because the only reason they'd be on Facebook was because their kids were on Facebook, and
Yep.
that's how I got on Facebook originally, was to
Yep.
make sure that I've got 5 kids, as you know, so just to check up on them.
Yep.
You're going to have people who are gold bugs who are interested in potentially leaving the United States. You're going to have people who are, very politically conservative or politically libertarian,
Mm-hmm.
that are sick of what they're seeing in Washington, and they don't trust what's going on in the country, and NSA spying and all that stuff. And so you're going to have your conspiracy people as well, that I think will resonate with this. So, it's a pretty large audience. I guess one of the things I'm excited about is I think the audience could be, subdivided and attacked from at different mediums, slightly different messages with the same core message.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah, and this is really great. I'm loving hearing you say this so everyone can really get the benefit of this, Jeff, is because that is the point. Once you get your core message, guys, your core message is the same for all of these people. See, but what happens is Jeff now is starting to really identify when he is going to be creating, let's say, a video or a post, he knows who he's talking to. The message is going to be the same, but you say it slightly different. You use slightly different connections, right? And you speak their language. And when you are creating, because this is it's really cool because he's moving to um, Costa Rica next year. He's already set it up. So you're going to start connecting with these kind of people because he was an executive, right? He's going to start living in the Caribbean, and he's got all these activities and different things he likes to do. But these are the kind of people that have the same values. And so when we start creating our brand in a way, now that we start sharing our story right through social media, through putting it on video, and we start identifying these specific keywords that we're going to start doing message and marketing videos for. Jeff, you're going to love this section when we start next week because we're going to specifically create 3 to 5 directed keyword targeted to that exact customer videos that you're going to use, and they're going to be evergreen, and they're going to be able to be used forever. And then your message videos are just daily, right, or every other day, whatever. I have 5 of my videos that I overuse and overuse and overuse again because they're my core message and they've never changed.
Well, that's awesome, and I think the video that you had posted on the bottom of page 2 of your this week 2 from this past week's lesson. If anybody hasn't listened to that, I'd go back to it. In fact, I plan to go back to it again because, one of the things I've noticed here, Rhonda, is we've gotten started. I've been doing this now for a whopping 5 weeks or something like that. And it's drinking from a fire hose, and the brain only picks up so much of the time as mine does. So part of what you're just talking about, targeting keywords. Well, that's nice, but I haven't really gotten to the point where I've been able to do. I haven't taken any time to do real research on keywords.
And don't worry about that yet.
I know, but I'm throwing up keywords. But even when I'm sitting down and doing videos, now, just in the last week, it's dawned on me, well, wait a second. When I sit down and do a video, I need to think about precisely who I'm talking to.
Yes.
And as you said in your video that I listened to literally last night at about 11 p.m., you're talking to one person, and you're just having a conversation. And so, stuff like that all of a sudden dawns on me that, and that'll change now. Kind of every video that I do going forward. I knew the concepts, but it hadn't quite gelled yet. So that was very helpful. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is the stuff. I say the same things over and over again because it has to be so ingrained in our minds and our heads that we do forget because we are in garden hose mode. Not even garden hose, we're in fire hose mode, right? It's blasting. It's totally blasting.
Yeah, it is.
And so I get it. It happens to me too. And I just go back and listen to the same stuff over and over again. But that's why we do this personal stuff. So this is good stuff. And I will go through this exact stuff next week as well. But this is a really great space for you guys to really get into, to have an idea. Because the way I like to teach, the way I do these workshops is so that you guys do get blasted, but you don't have to really overly take notes. The stuff comes out when you need it. And that's why I have you guys come back whenever you need to, because it's important for you to really start seeing and the things that you already had in your mind come out when you need it. Right? So so good, Jeff. I'm really excited about how your progression keeps happening with your story and your brand, because what we want to do is start really next week. We'll talk about color as well, how to really bring it together to make it visibly appealing. And our graphics people are amazing for you guys. You guys will be able to get some incredible graphics completed as well. But this is okay, let's see. Okay, we've got all kinds of great. Okay, am I back, you guys? Can you guys hear me? Some people said I was dropping out. I want to make sure you can hear me. Yeah? Cool. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Yeah, when I do search, that's what happens. Okay, so anyone else want to jump in out here and kind of go through really what took place for you, maybe some breakthroughs that happened, some story stuff that came out for you, and bring out those customers that you have, if you have identified yet who your ideal customers are, those 3 to 5. And let me share with you mine as you guys are thinking. Right? Mine are, I target every day the corporate executive woman, the mother that doesn't want to put her kid in daycare but still wants to make money. So there's a different than just a work-at-home mom or a home mom. Travelers. My husband targets surfers that are 6-figure surfers, right? And we also target those that are freedom thinkers. So I talk to those same people all the time with all my different messages, all the same people all the time. And what I know is I know their problems. I know how to talk and say, I didn't want to put my kid in daycare. I was working 10 hours a day, right? My husband can say, you only get to surf once a week when you know the best waves are happening during the week. You don't have an hour. You got to go to work in the morning. I can surf whenever I want, wherever I want. See, these are the problems they've got that you can solve by just talking about it. And when you get connected to that, then you become real and you become their problem solver and their friend, which you are, because people are like, wow, I just really connect with this person. And whether it's through written or video, and you guys know video is massively important in this marketplace these days. You just got to get comfortable with it. And then what we'll do is we'll start really identifying how to use those keywords, how to focus them on people, how to focus them towards groups and forums that connect with that same message. Well, right now we're just getting the foundation set. All right, so let's see. I saw a hand up. Did that hand go down? Whose hand was that? Pauline, did you want to jump out of here? Come on out. You there? Come on out. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, awesome. How are you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm fine, thanks. I just wanted to say really that this last week, I kind of felt like I had to go way out with my story to come back to the starting point, if that makes sense.
Always.
So what I did was I took a flip chart and I looked at the old me and then I looked at the new me.
Cool.
And I just did like points and just random words to describe me as the old me and then describe me as the new me. And then I did my story out on a flip chart, just in stages or chapters of my life, and I went through all of that to come back to the same starting point that I had last week or the week before. But it was really good for me because now I know that I'm comfortable with my starting point, but I know that it connects to everything else in my story, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
congratulations.
So it's easier for me now to, I suppose I feel more connected now with my customers, having gone back to see, because really my customers are a variation of me.
Always. Always.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So now that I can connect with the old me, I suppose, I find it just easier now to connect with my customers, and that was where I was struggling. I was struggling with what is the solution. No, not what the solution is, but how do I tap into what the problem is? That's what I was struggling with.
Okay.
What is the problem? Because I'm not really, I don't really look at things as problems. I more kind of look, okay, I go straight to solutions. So I hadn't really spent time with what the problem was.
Ah, well, this is huge. And I put up Divine Doula, and I forgot. Do you have a name yet? A branded name yet?
I do, and that's quite interesting as well because I am the dynamic doula.
Dynamic, that's right.
But even on that never sat right with me until this week.
Okay.
Because really I'm more than a doula. So what I am is I'm a birth doula, I'm a loss doula, I'm a postpartum doula, but in many ways I'm a life doula.
Ah.
So
okay.
I actually, the word doula, I plan to almost reinvent it.
Yep.
Because a doula to me is a support, it's a support person. So when I now look at my name, which is I am Pauline Gannon, the dynamic doula, then my message will read that I'm putting a whole new meaning to the word doula.
Wow, this is awesome. Okay, say this again so I can, because we're going to do taglines. We started to do taglines a bit, and how taglines really work because they're your miniature message. So let's go. Share with me what do you want to be called as far as like a branded name, and then what is the message?
Yeah, for me, it's the dynamic doula.
Okay.
The dynamic comes from my personality, which is I really am an all-round organizer. I get things done. I break through barriers. I never look at the problem. I go straight to the solution. I never dwell on the problem. And then the word doula comes from support. So it's an old Greek word. It's usually centered around birth.
Right.
But what I'm basically saying is the dynamic doula, taking the word doula to a whole new level.
Okay. Okay, so we can, we need to work on this. Okay, we will.
Yeah.
Right? This is good. This, awesome. I get your meaning. We need to get this into a message.
Yeah.
It could stay here. It could say taking doula to a whole new level, but we can do better than this.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to go there. We're not going to go there yet. We're going to stay here. Which was you only focus now on the solution. And I know the way that we all think, right? We don't want to think about the problems. When we do identify those problems, our solutions are clearer, more clear. Making sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And did you start identifying those problems that they have that you can speak to? Because in order to communicate that solution, you've got to know what that problem is first in a really direct way. You got to really get it. So you can say the language and the words in a video or in print or even in, let's say, an interview or a meeting with, right, a new mother that may want to work with you. You have to be able to use those key targeted problems.
Yeah. And I'm working on that. But the ones that when I looked at my story and I penned it out in a flip chart, what really jumped out at me, the biggest problem I had was that I was constantly living in my headspace. So my brain would go constantly. It was a constant dialogue with myself, questioning everything, being suspicious of everything. You know, that constant dialogue. So I never had peace. I never had time out.
I call it monkey chatter on our shoulder.
Yeah. And I had that all the time. And the other thing that I did, I always looked outward for solutions. So I actually never stopped to listen to my own voice, my inner voice.
Okay. And let me ask you this, how does these problems connect with your customer? Do they do the same thing?
Yeah, because what happens is you wake up in the morning and it's like Groundhog Day and the voices start in your head, the monkey chatter starts, and you constantly look outward for solutions. Whereas now what I'm saying to my customers are that when you wake up in the morning that you take time out to start your day the way that you want it to start. And that you stop. You see, I'm still working on that, but really what I'm saying is that you start with yourself and then you connect to professionals or experts that can give you their opinion, and then you take their opinion, you add it to your own resources and your own power. But I'm struggling to verbalize that, Rhonda, at the moment. I know what I mean, but I'm just struggling to get it out there verbally.
Okay, and is this a message that you want to put into on a website, on a one-on-one? How do you want to put this message together?
I suppose when I was talking to a client last night, I'm starting a new series of case studies, and I was talking to a client last night, and like I said to her, I said, all I really want to do in this next case study is take you off the roller coaster.
Okay.
And instantly she connected with that, and instantly she just said, oh my God, I need to get off the roller coaster.
Okay, right. See, these are key. These are things, especially when you are sharing your story and you're videoing and you're communicating what your problems were and are, right? You start to see these key words that connect to this. Your whole core message might be these words, right? That your customers are like dying to hear. They connect with those words.
Yeah.
So you got to find buzzwords and keywords that are really core.
Yeah, and I suppose the other thing that connects with them seems to be when I say that life doesn't have to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely the journey to motherhood should not be hard. It should never, ever be hard.
Mm. Right. I like that actually, because this is okay. What I just heard from you really sounds like a really strong tagline that gives your miniature message as to what they can really understand from you, right? The dynamic doula, the journey to motherhood doesn't hard. Well, we can change the language, but this is something that people will, if they, let's say they go to a website or they see a card or your videos open up with, hey, this is, Pauline from the Dynamic Doula, and then you close with, the journey to motherhood doesn't have to be difficult or challenging, or like I don't always like to end with a negative term.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what connects with your people the most. They come to a doula for what reason? They're not sure how to handle it. It seems difficult. They don't want to be part of a doctor. They don't want to be part of that. So in your case, it may work. We just have to really connect with how that connects with you. When you read it, when you see it, does that fit?
Yeah, because when you think about it, people go to a doula because they're so bombarded with experts and professionals and information that they just want to connect with a best friend. Whereas really what I'm saying to them is first you need to connect to yourself.
Right. Maybe we can, let's put these things down. You want to start, especially in taglines, is you want to start writing them down, where maybe it could be, so instead of the journey to motherhood doesn't have to be hard, we can use bringing simplicity, well, not simplicity because those aren't the right languages. We have to really use some words that can make it very positive for them, what you bring to them. So instead of them thinking about motherhood being hard, let's think about what that journey, making the journey to motherhood not pleasant because it's too simple. Let's use something really dynamic.
Something like precious and unique to you.
Yeah, work with that. This is how you create. That's how I was going to kind of move on to in a moment, is the URLs, the domain names, the look, and then the taglines. It's got to be that miniature message. It tells them what to expect from you and exactly the vibration you can offer to them. And so, right? So you are the dynamic doula, taking the, bringing the journey of motherhood to new heights, or I don't want to use lingo, jargon.
Most of my women, Rhonda, most of my women have had like severe loss, like miscarriages, stillbirth, like they've been to a place of pain that an awful lot of people have never been to and would never want to go there. So I suppose I'm looking for in my message and my tagline to say that you can still come back from there.
Yeah. Okay, good. This is really awesome. Of course, we always have Jeff. He seems to like be most connected to this topic here with us, Pauline. This was Jeff's. He just typed this in. Motherhood the way nature intended, right? You
Thank you, Jeff. That's fabulous.
right?
The tagline I use at the moment is bringing it back to nature, but it never sat right with me. Whereas motherhood, the way nature intended, actually sits much better with me. I really like that, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, we get the best stuff we bring it to the class, the best. Because this is like when you work together, third party information comes through because people are listening to us, right? They're all listening. And
Yeah.
they're all, going through their own process of understanding. And this is really fantastic. So I want you to sit with that, Pauline, and really did you do the video of your story yet?
I did, yeah. I haven't put it on the Facebook page. I'm a bit
Okay.
I haven't done that yet, but I have got my video, yeah.
Okay. Because we're really starting to tighten it up, and I can hear the change from day one to right now, and
Yeah.
I want to see how that comes, because the more we do that video, guys, you're going to do it a couple times, and then all of a sudden you're gonna get your core message, you're gonna get your people, and then you're just gonna start speaking, and you're talking to someone every time, and then your message is always really congruent all the time. But we gotta do it in order to get that message congruent, right? Gotta keep talking about it. Well done.
Thank you,
Awesome.
guys.
Yeah, well done. All right, let's see who we got. Bernie and Tiff, come on out, guys. And Robert, I know that. Hold on, Robert's at work, so I need to know if Robert. Is this a good time for you, Robert? Because if it is, I saw your hand up. I'd rather pull you out first because he's at work and he needs to be able to use this space. He may have had to run off. Okay. All right, it's cool. Bern and Tiffany, come on out.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Hey. I once was lost, but now I'm found.
Tell me what that means.
We can relate, I think, with what Paulina was just saying about we totally thought we had it, and then we started to sat down to do it, and then we were like, what the hell? And we went into this like so much stuff, and then kind of came back to the start. But I think we sort of decided to do, and you can chime in if this is a good idea, but sort of like what your story is, kind of you talking mainly with a little bit of Brian. So I think because it was kind of Bernie's thing to start, and he kind of has that more story, which is I think relatable for a lot of people than mine. So I think it's mainly going to be his story with bits of me in there. Is that?
Yep. And then what happens, guys, is that Brian, he now is starting to create his own story, his own, right, love and passion for surfing, right? My wife,
Yeah, so that's fantastic. That's what I'd like to do too, but I feel like it's kind of a focus on us right now and a bit more Bernie, where I think my story eventually, just with me, being diabetic and that kind of stuff, I'd like to create my own too. But I think right now I'm happy with ours together and kind of let this grow and then kind of go from there once.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Brian, he talks about and targets stuff that I don't even do, right, at all. And so when it comes to our overall brand, it becomes us. But when you establish your bigger brand, your personal brand, you want to make sure the core message is solid to the start, and then you branch out.
Cool.
Yeah, we spent a day or two just trying to fit the stories together, and it was a mess.
Oh, it was. Yeah, we suddenly were really boring and like I don't know what happened.
We're telling too much. What happens is that our egos get in the way, and we all want to tell our story, right? But it's like, all right, is this going to sell this?
That's part of it. You guys are definitely different. Though.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we're on track now, and starting to talk more about who we think we're targeting, and we have all this dog stuff involved, but I think we're realizing it's not just dog stuff, and we still want those sort of adventure people with their dogs. We don't want the dog people that are sappy and hold their dogs in their laps and don't do anything. We don't want them, but they might still be in there. So we're kind of just trying to figure out defining that and what.
Let me ask
really
you something. When we do the dog stuff, do you think that you could be? Are we leaving some people out? I know that was a conversation last week. your dog content is really strong. I saw your post today. I'm thinking that possibly, especially with the way the blog system is now that you guys have, is you could have just a full-on dog only content driven that has sidebars, banners, right, that just have business stuff that they might be able to peek at. And then you really use story connection pieces for your overall brand.
So have two blogs?
Or are you guys seeing it combined? I mean, I can see it combined.
Oh,
Give you
I,
the opportunity.
I think we are seeing it separate, right? But we're just kind of having it combined right now because that's kind of what we know and what we find it easiest to blog about. And I think as we learn more about this marketing and everything else that seems to be involved with this, I think we're getting more comfortable being able to share and talk about that stuff too.
Yeah.
But I think our ultimate thing is like just travel and freedom and adventure. And
Yeah, and
have
I mean,
those
again, I know
us.
last week we talked intently about this, and is I can see the metaphors working well and being able to share it. But your dog content is really targeted and specific. It's like really good, and so I don't want you to lose that piece of being able to really focus on direct dog content. Dog
Okay,
owner.
so that's not a bad thing. Did you say it's good or it's ugly?
Well, it's a good thing. It's great. It
Okay.
means you guys have really great content that I want you to be able to create a bigger brand that encompasses everything, but you could also then have either whether it's like dog day, right? Whatever. You have specific where you just give that awesome content. Those followers that will never join your business know how to know that day's theirs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and like some of the feedback we've been getting in messages from even clients that we've had that we've never heard from are like they're so happy with everything that we're doing. So
Nice, guys.
we've gotten some really nice messages from people that we kind of haven't talked to in a while. So
Well, see, that's what happens when you break out. People notice, and when you start to really share, they notice. So
yeah, and I think it's getting them a different way and
yeah,
bringing them out of the woodwork a little too. I mean, it's not necessarily money yet, but it will be, and those nice feelings are worth more than money sometimes
absolutely.
too. So.
All right, well then let's just stay where you're at then, because I want to see that. I want to see this build because you guys have really neat connection. So right now, are your customers that those targeted customers are those clear or are they unsure?
I don't know. They're clear one moment and then not the next.
It has an overall core because you guys said travel. Like there's an overall core customer that's gonna want to. This is about people that want to buy from you, right? And are we selling? What are we selling? If we're selling the overall business idea, or are we selling dog services?
We are working on a website that will be selling dog stuff.
Okay.
So we have like an ebook we're working on. We have
Right.
I have like a pet nutrition seminar that will be sold. We have
Mhm.
like a pulling on leash ebook and a start your own dog walking business and daycare consultant. So those products there will be more direct to that. But I think Bernie's interest is still kind of sidebarring, like, selling the EN as well. And then,
Okay.
um,
Because
but
remember,
I mean,
you guys see my stuff. Ours is Total Unstoppable Family, right? My branding is a product that's separate, but it is still it is my branched off product, and that's awesome because you'll get people to that product through your overall brand.
yeah. And like I say, I think people come in for the dog stuff or not, but they stay for us over the dog stuff too
Right.
once they get to know us. So
Right. Okay. All right. So, where are you guys at right now? I saw the story. I want you to look at the way we talked about tonight, how we re-edited it to make it look appealing. I will look at it. I'll give you feedback on it to make sure that we're having some calls to action, right? That focuses people. And then when it comes to now that story video, are you guys, where are you guys at with it doing the story video?
I think we're scratching the one that we had done, and we'll get Bernie reading this one this week and then adding my parts in there. So I think we're comfortable with where we're going to be at that. We just
Okay.
we'd like to see outside, and it's kind of been freezing cold or windy here too, so kind of working on that. But we can get it shot roughly and send it off to you.
All right, fair enough.
Probably.
Good. All right, this is good. Okay, great, guys. I mean, this is you guys. I know where you guys are at, so this is really powerful. I mean,
Good.
At least
That's a
somebody
good-
does.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
good thing.
Okay, this is good. Okay, all right, awesome. And we'll say you guys are good at communicating through the week. And it's funny, I had like divine intervention with Bernie the other day. He just like started thinking, and I started typing. He's like, "What?"
Oh yeah, that was
Where,
weird.
where was this? He
Yeah.
doesn't tell me stuff, so I'll get the
All right.
notes.
I love it. All right, hey Robert, what's up, buddy? Now you can. I didn't realize that you could.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
here. I'm having lots of fun with the process. This is like
Nice.
amazing journey. You know that I started off with you know my title live well, be fulfilled, but that was started from something else. That was and it's still going to be for that something else. But it wasn't really didn't have that pow effect like that, grab your eyeballs and your ears and, help you zero into what I'm doing. So after taking that, thinking about our class last time and we were brainstorming there over
Yeah.
the hotline again, I was playing around with that whole idea of, lifestyle angler, I'm a fly fisherman, outdoorsman, and that's my true message. I don't want to be stuck in a box in a cubicle for the rest of my life. That's not me anymore.
Mhm.
And so I started throwing that idea around, and I kind of knew, I know that the other part of it is, the creator of opportunities. That was just rolls off my tongue, and then the whole idea of giving people power to profit, like including myself, and then so I got that part down, and then I was throwing around the title again, and I was talking to my wife last night, who I'm slowly getting her warmed up and and to this whole idea and I think she's been watching your stuff or whatever, and I told her, I said, I'm thinking about be calling myself the lifestyle angler. And then she goes to me, she goes, well, are you sure you want to do that, because it sounds like you're just trying to round up a bunch of fishing buddies. And I'm like, well, yeah, you got a point. And I said, well, and I told her, I said, I'm all about lifestyle. I'm all about outdoorsy. I'm all about not being, confined to a box, because there's a lot of things that happen to me that confine me to a box. And then she said, well, she goes to me, she goes, look at Rhonda with the Unstoppable Family. She's branded herself that anybody, she's reaching out to anybody and everybody, because everybody wants a family, everybody wants an unstoppable life and everything else. And then she goes, why don't you call yourself the life entrepreneur, because you're an entrepreneur and you love life. Or like the lifepreneur, that's it, the lifepreneur. She said, call yourself the lifepreneur.
Hey,
And then,
buddy.
and then, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, man, that makes sense, lifepreneur, because I'm in the business of creating more life for myself and other people. So lifepreneur, and then I'm also a creator of options for myself and others, and I'm empowering people by giving them and myself, giving all of us the power to profit. Because in order to live life, you gotta have you have to have money in order to live life properly. So it all started really gelling together, and even like my core message, like having the ability to have options in life, being empowering, having more family time and memories with my family, living life, uh, working less, um, being able to have the liberty to live for my true self instead of this what other people think I should be like, or how my family thinks I should be like. I'm finding my true self, and in the process of doing that, I'm going to help other people find their true self, so then they can live from their passions, and all the while making money from their passions. So I don't care if it's like fly fishing or traveling, or maybe it's the corporate guy that's stuck in the office like I am, who's dreaming about everything about life and living life instead of just being focused on his job, because it's about being too confined.
Muted, sorry.
And so
No, this is
so
good. This is
so
this is
yeah, like
where I
I'm just
wanted to
like,
go.
the light bulbs are on. Yeah, the light bulbs are on, and I'm just like, my whole shtick has gone to the next level.
Haha, nice, dude. I love that.
So so um so Rhonda, you probably saw my one post there,
Yeah.
And then I had made another video and I watched it too. I was having trouble posting that other video, but I watched it too. I'm gonna post it again, but I'm gonna probably recut it because with this life entrepreneur title and everything else. But I noticed my energy level was like through the roof because live well, be fulfilled. Yeah, that's great. That's for something else. It wasn't birthed from what I really, really want. And what I want is to be able to plan my day instead of having other people or my job plan my day. I want to be waking up every single morning fired up about what I can do today, as opposed to, trying to drag myself to my job. And so the energy level on that the next video was just amazing. But I'm going to recut it because there's a couple points that I missed on it, which I want to be able to nail it. And then I'm going to post it tonight.
Okay. I like that last video. I really liked it. I want to see you get really. I want to listen to your guys' videos and know who you're talking to, because I always can identify who that person is. So I want you, every time you guys are shooting a video, I want you to think of that person, everything about them, and when you shoot it, because Robert, you are rocking with your video. You are rocking with your content. I want you to start really getting focused on who the person you're talking to is.
Okay.
Right? So that you are talking to someone and your language will change.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm all in that.
Nice. And now, did you look to see if Lifepreneur is available?
On GoDaddy? No, I haven't. I'm going to check it out, see if it is.
Good. You have to check that out because we got to make sure it's available. Life-Preneur. I mean, I had to use Freedom-Preneur, right? Because the same reason. Got to make sure it's available because it's becoming obviously quite popular. But you'll be able to work with it. It can even be, Life with Robert, Lifepreneur, creating. We can play with this.
Yeah. Well, I have to thank my wife for it because she was looking at your branding and then she was looking at this Lifepreneur and she goes, with Life, Rob, you can actually you can tackle any topic that's out there because everybody's going through life and everybody wants to live more and hopefully work less. So the topics are endless, but I can still do my core and who I'm targeting all day long, and that's amazing. Like it's pretty cool how it all came together like this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is a good big blanket brand that you can really use. So awesome. Okay, good. I want you to stay there. Let's get these videos shot. I want you to really get tight on this and look to see if it's available first off, and then let's start thinking about what the tagline will be, right?
Okay.
And you actually wrote it. What did you say it was? Because it was solid.
The creator of options with power to profit.
I like it. It's a little ambiguous, but I like it because of that reason.
That's right, because they don't know what they're going to profit from, but that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Sucking them in,
like,
and getting them intrigued.
What? Yeah, ambiguity is powerful, right? Because it just brings people to the question of why. What is it? What do you have?
Yeah, I'm excited. I was excited. Like I woke up this morning. I went to bed early for the first time in like 3 weeks or something like that because I've been working really late trying to wrap my head around all this marketing stuff and going through some videos and writing content and thinking about my next video, yada yada yada. So I went to bed for the first time, and then I woke up like totally refreshed, and that was the first thing that popped in my head: life entrepreneur or lifepreneur, and then the tagline: creating options with power to profit. It just rolls off my tongue like it's so natural, because of this process. It's because what we're forcing our story out, and we don't have to. And this is the thing that's really cool. It's not about being perfect. It's about just getting it out there, and then you can correct along the way. Which I had a huge problem with that because I was the guy trying to take all my marbles in a row, trying to figure it out first and then do it. But that's how that goes. Nothing gets done. And so now I get to, like, I really train myself just to just go out there like a bull in a china shop and just get out there and break things and just do it and ask for forgiveness later and tweak things later, or as you go, and then you just get better and better and better at it, and then you're like totally sharp and polished, and then you're like a people magnet.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You become ultimately attractive and magnetic because they're like, what the heck? I don't share who shares their story? Who shares their vulnerabilities? Not many people. And when you
Exactly.
start doing it, people notice. So I want you to make sure you get into GoDaddy because Jeff Villock is looking at some stuff saying a lot of it's not available, but we can still work it in your tagline and your messaging, okay? So if lifepreneur.com's not open, that can still be part of your message,
Okay.
okay?
Well, I'm gonna go on there, go to GoDaddy right now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna put myself back on mute, or you can put me on mute. I'm gonna
Okay.
go back to my desk and start ripping this up.
Rockstar. Awesome. All right,
Okay.
buddy. Okay. Jeremy G, come on out, buddy. You ready? There you are.
Hey. Sorry, I was doing work. Hi, Rhonda.
Hi.
It's kind of funny because I'm listening to everybody talk about their stories, and I don't know if I just need a good old Rhonda slap in the head, or an embracing hug. You know, Rhonda, that I'm super obviously passionate about my health and wellness career and industry. And one of the things that I don't know why, but I'm almost a little afraid to embrace that. Like that's a separate thing, and I try to talk more about travel because it's something I want to do, but it's not something I do, and so I'm trying to be really vanilla when I think I really just need to be that health and wellness guy, that brand, that all my education, and so I think that's why so much of my stuff comes off. I'm learning how to write it and I'm getting a message across, but it's not hitting the core audience as powerfully as it could when I finally just dial in and go, that's who I am. Do you see that? Like, what is it that I'm not getting here? I think this is more for you to kind of analyze me. You've watched me for a while.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Well, I don't think you're missing anything. I mean, that's. I don't think you're missing anything. And now we're doubling up my voice, darn it.
I can mute myself back out.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think you're missing anything, Jeremy. This is what we need to look at. You have a dream big family, right? Is your brand. What we need to look at is what are the core message of the dream big family, right? What are the people that you are connecting directly with? And what happens is sometimes we go back and forth and we kind of scatter our message all about, and it doesn't stay congruent to our audience. Because remember, an audience we pick up 6 months ago is still there. They're still watching. And if our message changes, they get confused. Now, if what you're saying is health and wellness is something you let go and are feeling that that's a missing piece, then that's something that now we need to address. And you can unmute yourself and let me know that. Let's talk about that.
I was trying to, yeah, without getting all echoey. Yeah, I mean, it's such a huge thing of who I am, and it's such a powerful core message. I'm so passionate about it. Even the dream big and how it fits in there. I think I tried to water down dream big because I didn't know how to be my real self, or if people would accept that. And I wanted to be really vanilla that was just accepted by everybody. And obviously that's kind of anti-branding, you know.
Right.
And now it's like, I just need to I've been listening to a lot of Justin, obviously, and his vision calls, and he's mirroring so much of what I teach in my practice, and I do. And Gina's a pharmacist, and I'm an expert in health and wellness and an acupuncturist, and I think we need to pull that healthy lifestyle. People are in pain, emotionally, financially, physically, and like you said, if you can solve problems, you create loyal following. And now, I mean, Gina and I, with our message, can solve problems, physical, emotional, and with opportunity, financial. Like, why wouldn't I want to embrace this? And I guess I'm just afraid that it would be taking me away from what Empower offers. And I guess I need to know for myself, or I'm trying to find out how to tell myself, no, I won't lose anything with what I'm trying to do here. It brings it all full circle.
Yeah, this is good. You're bringing this up. Is the brand that you created, which is Dream Big, encompasses everything that you believe in. Now, I don't think you hear me much talk about the amount of marketing the Unstoppable family does, or the amount of leads we collect, or the amount of this we do. We don't. We completely stick to our core message all the time. And do we deviate slightly every once in a while for fun? Yes. But if you have a core message you have not been sharing, then you are missing not only the congruency with the customer, their understanding with what you're sharing with them, but you're missing now your focus, right? Because if your message is health and wellness and changing your life for the better, and we're deviating hoping things are going to work by changing copy and changing video structure, I really think that I want to nail down what is the core message, what is it, and then your keywords, your key people are targeted. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. I think, and I just typed back like the key words that I feel resonate so well. I realized, like, just one of the things that brought me to Empower, and not even just Empower, but to you and Brian, was I was struggling in my own practice because so many people were telling me they couldn't afford the care. They wanted to do it, but they couldn't afford it. And so this constant, I would eat better if I could afford to buy organic. I would get acupuncture and massage if I could afford to do it. And I was struggling, and I wanted to find ways around that. And what I lost sight of was, okay, now I need to get everybody to see this vision of having life on their terms. And what I didn't do, or what I wasn't embracing, was this becomes an opportunity to afford the lifestyle you really want to, like you said, have health and wellness, be abundant. And so, yeah, like, it suddenly is making more and more sense that I need to not run from this, but really embrace this and target into that.
And oddly enough, I mean, it's always a building process, right? Always. And so we can't, let's not be, oh shoot, I'm feeling like mad. So let's not be afraid of all the things that we've done that we've ruined it. It's all massive building, but now I would say I would love to see the two of you focus on exactly what you stand for, exactly what you believe in, the exact people that believe in that same message, right? When we do that, now we've got someone that knows what you're talking about, that they want to, they're congruent with you. The only people that get started with us are completely congruent with what the Unstoppable family stands for. Some people think that we're nuts with our child traveling around the world and they don't feel that she's got structure. They don't work with us, right? We might inspire. You can think something. Go ahead. You just unmuted, so go for it.
New feedback. I didn't want to cut you off.
Go. Now we're on the standoff. Because if one of us or both of us are muted, we can't hear each other.
I'm sorry. I wanted to give it back to you. I was just giving you an like I'm with you. I didn't want you to think I had lost you.
No, it's good. I mean, I really believe that sometimes we want to be open to everyone, and we lose sight of what we take a stand for. So instead, we find ourselves standing, but not taking a stand. See, you brought up something really important that I want you to hear, Jeremy, is that you appreciate and love the way Justin takes a stand. He isn't standing. He's taking a stand for very specific things. And when we're really talking about branding and who we are and how our core message relates to people, people love those that take a stand for what they believe in. Not ride the pine, not communicate a message that everyone wants to hear. You're going to piss people off and you're going to make people not follow you. That's okay. Those are not the ones that you want. Make sense?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I needed. I wanted to hear. But I needed to hear it. I get it. And it feels good to know that like I want to create not just drama but controversy. I want to create debate. I want to stir the pot. I want to get people emotional, like you said, and I want to get them taking some sort of action and not sitting on the fence, because that's not where life is lived. So this totally makes sense. It completely resonates and gives me lots of exciting things to shift my story. And absolutely, I feel like I've been building my story and learning how to communicate, and now it'll get that much more powerful as I really complete who I am and give the world me.
Yeah, awesome. Now, have you thought about really a strong tagline is like Dream Big Family, taking you or challenging you to live above your limits, or something that's powerful that takes a stand for that what you believe in? What is the tagline that you guys are really strong with?
Well, with the tagline we've been rocking for a while is Dream Big, Live Big. Originally, I think I wrote something like inspiring dreams, empowering lives. Um, through learning with you, I and studying under you, I've learned that it's okay to make these mistakes, and to not fall, not that I don't fall in love with it, but not to become so attached that I can't grow. So ultimately, if Dream Big Family, which is a great brand, but if it's ultimately not the brand that fills my vision, it won't destroy me to let it go and evolve to what it needs to. So I'm not limited that I have to try to fit a square peg into a round hole. But if I can work with it, since I've already vested and invested in it, I'm completely happy with that too. I want the journey, my journey, and my learning through this experience to really unfold to what makes the most sound sense. And part of that sometimes letting go of things that don't serve us, but having used them for a while. So does that make sense? That I don't feel like I have to live into it. For a while there, I thought I had to keep it and work with it. Now I just, if it works, that's awesome. I really want to do what is powerful and what I can deliver.
No, it makes complete sense. I mean, we have changed our tagline several times. I mean, we were inspiring others to live their dreams now. Then we went to turning average people into unstoppable freedompreneurs. Now we are proving anyone can work from no home. So your tagline and your message can slightly change based on the audience you want to target. So dream big, live big is still great. It's a start point, I believe. It's not telling everyone what you're going to offer them. Dream big family is who you are, right? But if we can create a tagline that's like that really shares with people what they can expect from you, then they get to your blog or they see your taglines, they see your closing of your videos. They're like, wow, I resonate with that. See, the things that we do with branding are so subtle yet so powerful. I, was remember being on stage in Orlando and I said, and don't forget everyone, And I put the mic out and everyone said, be unstoppable. And I was not sure the result I was going to get from that. But I got a powerful one because literally I realized that the little things matter. So we create a message that we can always close with, and it's a powerful tagline that people know about, then they start to relate to us even more. So dream big, live big is a cool statement. Doesn't necessarily connect emotionally. It just says something. Does that make sense to you?
It does. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. So
I think one of the things that I'll need to work on, and this is something that Gene and I over the last week actually have been talking about.
Cool. So let's do it.
Yeah, is we'll start working on writing in our story and pulling out our areas of interest and finding a new tagline that really leads us in that identity.
Yeah, absolutely. Rock on. Good. All right. Good. Yay. I'm glad that you came out because this is important stuff that you deserve to share with me, and I deserve to hear. So this is good. All right, you guys. So this is great. So we're already at now 10 minutes past the hour. Not that I care about going over. So I want to respect all of your time to be sure that we cover what we need to cover in this time frame. And so right now we want to make sure you guys are nailing down the domain names, taglines, making sure they're really congruent with your content. They can be your brand name. They don't have to be. Like Robert's may not be available, but he can work with it. And then, of course, our taglines, we started creating those and talking about them. Taglines need to be from 7 to 10 words, no longer. Because once they're longer than that, they become a long message opposed to a message that really shares what you can offer them now and who you are all about, okay? So we want to look at taglines in a way that really describes what we can do for them. And your visual will help. And, of course, your domain name will help. But I want to close with you guys right now with really you completing the story, making sure the story is visibly appealing, and writing that you are videoing it in a way that really shares who you are, where you've been, what this problem you solved, and what the solution is. And then you want to make sure now that you start to speak to a customer, someone specific that is within your branded targeted audience. Because now we're going to hit next week visuals and starting to really focus on now video content structure. Now how to start structuring a message and a marketing video, because they're completely different, and how to now target those specific people in your message or your marketing videos, and then how to start creating message videos for series and whatnot. So you guys are really getting there. And those of you that are quite there yet, just go to Unstoppable Branding fan page. You can find it within the members area as well. And that's where you'll post your stories and your videos that you want to shoot. And I want you guys to really start thinking right now from 30,000 feet above. If someone were to look down at me, would they follow me? What makes me stand out of this view of all these people? For me, I wear a big fat stop sign on my head. I'm unstoppable, right? I never thought that would happen. I'm a little bit more, I guess, fashionable than a stop sign. You know what? It works. So think about not the visual, just what makes you so stand out, that makes you different. Jeff is a Caribbean beach executive. Totally, I can see that person. Right? So you want to make sure you guys are creating an image and even if it's just in your mind, that people want to follow you. They see it, they get it. All right? All right, you guys are amazing. Have an amazing, awesome night. It's Wednesday night. Well, Wednesday day for you. 9:42 for me. And I'm going to be thinking about all this stuff tonight. I love this. And I'll have the recording up tomorrow. And guys, go out and have an unstoppable night today and completely be unstoppable. And I will see you next week. And I will hear from you and see from you and comment with you on the fan page. All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks for being here and being you. No, David, tagline does not have to be the same as your closing statement. My tagline is proving anyone can work from no home right now because I change it. But my tagline or my closing statement is always be unstoppable, right? It's a signature. So with your brand, we're going to create a signature. It doesn't have to be your mini message, which is your tagline. It's going to be what you leave people with. Okay? Yeah, you guys are awesome. All right, you guys have a great night. Be unstoppable. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Woo!